Well, hey there, and good morning. Welcome to today's Saturday Snapshot. And as we are on the eve of Martin Luther King Day, I hope that you will take time this weekend just to pause and to ask yourself, am I a person who will place themselves in God's hands and allow God to use me to be mindful of the ways in which injustice still continues to show its ugly face in different ways. And may I also be used in a way to bring love and to bring compassion a little bit more in this world. I want to share with you a few announcements and then just kind of just chat with you for just a second. Just tomorrow in the back of the church when you come, we will have your last year's contribution statement for you. So if you're in the process of preparing your taxes, things like that, we will have that document for you. If you've been doing that online, you also have access to be able to do that through Faith Life, your Faith Life giving app. You can find it there. Also want to let you know that we will be starting a reading group coming up on Tuesday evening at 6:30, and if you would like to be a part of it, we're going to read the book "Praying Like Monks and Living Like Fools" by Tyler Staton. It's a great book, a great read, and looking forward to doing that with you. That'll be on Tuesdays at 6:30, and then Thursday evenings at 6:30. But we'll do that via Zoom, and to be a part of that class, you'll need to register so that I will have your contact information. So that if, let's say, you sign up and you want to be in person, but sometimes you have to, you can't make the Tuesday evening, but you can make the Thursday Zoom. That way, I can make sure everybody's getting that Zoom link, and they can be a part of that class. So you'll see a link in today's email that'll take you to the webpage for you to be able to do that registration. And so we're looking forward to leading that. Speaking of that, what I've decided I want to do a little bit each time with these Saturday snapshots, just kind of give you a little bit of what we talk about in our church membership class, but also use that to kind of share with you our strategic objectives, who we are as a church, what we are intending to do in the community, and really just kind of stress with you the importance that you have. This church is not intended to be a staff-driven church. The United Methodist Church, its history has always been built around the strength of the laity. And the strength of the laity determines the health of the church. And the responsibility that the staff have is equipping the laity. The more laity are involved, the more influence we have in the community and beyond. And so one of the things that we talk about early on in our membership class is the role of the laity, that our mission as a church is to expand our influence beyond our four walls. And the reason that we expand our influence is not so that we have more folks in the church. That is a byproduct. If we do our ministry well, if we are reaching people well, then the byproduct is more people enter into the doors. And if more people enter into the doors, then we have more influence. And the more influence we have, the more transformative work we are able to do in the community. And so ultimately what we are attempting to do is to connect with people who understand that this is a tough world to live in. They know what it's like to have a life of anxiety. They know what it's like to have a life of uncertainty. They know what it's like to feel like that they're not noticed, that they're not appreciated. We're trying to reach those people so that they would come and hear that God notices them, that God hears their cries, that they are people of worth, that they do have sacred value, right? And as we help them learn how to live like Jesus in a tough world, we're able to release them into the community. And as they are going to their places of work, as they go to the places where they live, as they go to places where they go to school, where they play sports, they become salt. They become light, right? Well, none of that happens without this key word, which is called engagement. I measure the health of the church. I measure my success as a pastor, whether I'm being successful as a pastor, by the number of people I'm able to influence to become engaged in what we do. So, for example, when we say, hey, we're going to offer a class, a reading study on how to enhance our prayer life, right? The number of people that say, hey, I want to be a part of that. And so that's the reason we have an in-person offering and we have an online offering. So that part of my algorithm is to say, did you make enough options for people, right? So yes, I'm saying I'm doing an in-person and I'm going to do an online, and then when we're done, we'll repackage that as well, so that we'll have an ongoing engagement process. But I didn't want to use that same word again. But here's what I'm trying to say to you is that I look at that and I say, okay, we have a church of, average worship attendance around close to 300. Are we at the 10% mark? Are we at the 20% mark? Are we, as the going goes? And the more that we are engaged in the activities, and engagement is like, it's a simple step of like, hey, I know I was in person, at church, but it helps my church if I go back to the YouTube channel and I click like, or I write a comment about why that service was meaningful to me, what song spoke to me, what I intend to do after the service. Because what happens is YouTube picks up that engagement and they say, hey, something's happening here, and they recommend that to other people. And the next thing you know, we're reaching people in South Carolina, we're reaching people in Delaware and Pennsylvania and California and Washington, and we're beginning to make an impact. In fact, I received an email earlier this week by a young lady who started worshiping here. Pam was worshiping here, and then has gone up to South Carolina to work on her education program. But what she was saying was just how powerful this church was for her, how meaningful it was. It was the first place that she felt welcomed and noticed. And so she's grateful to be able to be a part of her church while she's in South Carolina. Her and her family are still worshiping with us. Well, you're making that happen. But imagine if we could make more and more folks become aware of the good news that this church wants to share. And it really is all by your engagement. And so when we have these invitations for you to do something, right, to be engaged, whether it's to like a video, whether it's to subscribe to a video, whether it's to come and be a part of worship, whether it's to make your offerings, to join a reading group, to be a part of a Bible study, any of those things, it's not only, remember what I say, it's not only for your benefit. You will certainly be benefited by it, but it's also for the benefit of others who have yet to know how to live like Jesus in a very tough and difficult world. And so one of the things that we talk about, is that when you become a member of this church, we expect you to participate in the church's efforts to be an influence in the community. And so I just want to encourage you with that. Just be mindful of what we're doing. Hey, tomorrow we're going to continue in that sermon series, how to be successful in 2023. We're going to look at the secret number 3. And really what we're going to look at is the one error that you and I are probably committing that's keeping us from having a powerful, prayerful experience. And so you're not going to want to miss that. I'll be talking about that tomorrow morning. Again, we're going to go back and look at Jesus' words about praying and see what insight we might have. So I look forward to being with you tomorrow. I hope you have a wonderful day, and may you continue to be a blessing to others because you know that you are Christ's beloved, and because of that, you are already blessed. All right, take care. It's good to be with you. Stay warm. See you tomorrow.